Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. The month of Av is sponsored by the Einhorn family, Leilu Nishmas, Rav Naftali Ber Rabbi Cheskel. We're holding in Chulin Daf Tzadik Dalid, and the Gemara in this Daf speaks about the Issur of Gneivas das. One should not pretend or do something that seems to his friend that he's doing something for his own benefit, for his friend's benefit, when he really is not intending to do that. Why is that so? So Rashi says, V'nimtza machzik lo toiva chinam. He's going to owe him a favor, but for no purpose at all. And that's a lashon that some other Rishonim bring as well, which means is basically stealing from him to a certain degree. He's taking away his das. He thinks that he owes him something when he doesn't. So it's a din of Gneiva. The Achronim, the Birkas Avram and others, they point out that in the Rabbeinu Yoina and Shari Tshuva, and in the Rambam Hilchos Deos, it sounds like the pshat is different. Because the Rabbeinu Yoina writes in Shari Tshuva that the reason why a person cannot do Gneivas das, he says, a chet uchomor tzachach v'yisrael yoyser migezel, more chomor than stealing. Yanu biyan kisvas sheker oshmor rabo. Because this person is lying. V'nischayavnu al gidra emes. The person has to be careful to say the truth. Ki hu miyisoidei hanefesh. The Mashmo says that it's something improper to come and say a lie, or to do something that looks like a lie. And that's what the Rambam writes in Chosdeus Perek Beis Lochevov. And he starts by saying that a person should not deceive people. And then he brings the examples of our Gemara. And then he ends, person should be truthful, should not come and do these lies, this deception. So the mashmos of Rabbeinu Yoina and the Rambam is that it's not because of Gneivas, stealing away his das, but because you're doing sheker, you're saying something which is a lie. A person should not involve himself in deception. And the way the Achronim say that the difference between Rabbeinu Yoina and the Rambam and the way the push-up shine in the Rashi, is it a ben adam l'chaveiru or ben adam l'makom? According to Rashi, you're stealing from him. You're doing something wrong to your friend. But according to Rabbeinu Yoina and the Rambam, someone who's doing something wrong himself, he's saying a lie. He's saying something which is wrong. It's against him, not against his friend. And the these two avonos will have enough kamino. What the Bnei Yissaschar writes in his farm, writes in the Agro de Kalo, Parshas Vayero, and similarly in more in length in the Agro de Pirko. And Agro de Kalo he brings that it says that Avraham Avinu says, "Vayomer Adnus al na ta'avor ma'alavdecho." So Rashi there brings, we're not sure if he's talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not to pass, or he's talking to the Malach that came to visit, not to pass. So says the Bnei Yissaschar that it's very roi for a tzaddik that when he speaks to a person, they have in mind to speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why these two pshatim were both true. He was talking to the person who he thought he was an Arab, but in his mind he's also talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he says, "V'loi mikri zeh gnevas das, im nafshe v'libo l'shemayim." He has in mind to Hashem, it's not gnevas das. And in Agro de Pirko, he brings the Zohar in Parshas Vayero. And in the footnotes, they bring over there that a very similar Zohar in Parshas Vayishlach, Chelek Aleph, Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph on the base, that it says that David HaMelech spoke to this Rasha called Novel, and he said, "V'amartim kol echai, v'ato shalom u'beischa shalom v'chol shelecha shalom." So the Zohar is asking, how can you speak to a Rasha and say shalom? So he answers the Zohar, he's not speaking to Novel, he's speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what it means, kol lechai. Kol lechai is a reference to Hashem. And the Zohar brings another example that when Yaakov Avinu, when Yosef came to visit him, it says, "V'yishtachu Yisrael rosh hamito." You think he was bowing down to Yosef? No, he's bowing down to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Zohar Parshas Vayishlach says, that's what it says when Yaakov Avinu was bowing down to Esav. He was coming in front of him to bow down. He wasn't bowing down to Esav. He's bowing down to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because it says there, "V'hu over lifneim." Who's V'hu? That's the Shechina. So he immediately was bowing down to the Shechina. So the Bnei Yissaschar in Agro de Pirko and Ois Kuf Samechei, he says it's not considered to be a remos like Gneivas das to have in mind for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because b'lavochi min haroy l'chol bar das be'ezdaborim abrios she'kavanos HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Person should always have in mind to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning a person should always be connected to Hashem, and that's how a tzaddik should be. So it's fine if he's speaking to a Rasha, to speaking to a regular person, to have in mind HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, l'chora, according to the way the Achronim understand in Rashi, that you're still going to have daitoi, that the person doesn't understand it. So l'chora, it's a little hard to say it. Because the Maisi, he feels that he's giving him a shvach, he's giving him something. He's still machzik lo toiv v'chinam. Unless you want to say, like the Gemara says in the Mood base, that it's his fault because it's really roy for a tzaddik to always have mind HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But according to Rabbi Yochanan and the Rambam, it's very gishmak, because the whole issue is that a person should not be a ramos, that he should not be deceiving. But if it's the right and proper thing to have in mind HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's not called deception. That mitzido, he's doing the right thing, thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'yesh od le'ayin b'dover zeh. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shomach Shava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.